Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. Boss here. Access bid by Blackie Speaks. It's titled Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years in prison. Damn, I just talked about this the other day. His sentence was pending, but now it's been decided and he is getting 10 years. Yeah, very unfortunate because, like I previously said, he has some fire music, but that's what happens when you shoot people. I highly doubt he will do all of the 10 years. That's usually not even how it works. People be doing way less than their sentence, so he could end up doing like probably 5 years, 6 years maybe, and get out. I mean, that's still a long time, but not for shooting somebody. I think 5 years is reasonable for shooting another human being. Anyway, let's see what he has to say. Let's watch.
Come on here and talk a little bit about the Tory Lanez verdict that just came in yesterday. The shooting that happened back in 2020, the one involving Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Well, Tory just got convicted for that shooting and got a 10-year prison sentence. I'm sure you know all about this.
It's Blackie?
Let me refresh you.
Wait, I ain't never seen him before.
Memory.
I love when people come out and show their face. This is the way. When Jamari first did it, I was like, oh shit, that's what Jamari looked like? Because for the longest, Jamari wasn't showing his face. And of course, Rage, your Rage, he wasn't showing his face for a really, really long time. And now he's showing his. So I love when people come out and it's like, yes, reveal yourself. You talking all this shit about all these people. You got all these opinions. Let's see what you look like. Reveal your face. Next up, impressive. Black T Blog, come on. Y'all start showing these faces out here. Because everybody else who be talking shit online, we real bold, we showing our face. Show your face.
Really quickly. So back in 2020, Tory, Meg, Kelsey Nicole, and Meg's bodyguard were at a party. They were at this pool party that was hosted in Kylie Jenner's house. And what ended up happening after that is all of them left the party. They all ended up together in a black SUV, and they were riding around in a whip, right? And that ended up leading to some type of verbal altercation between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Meg hopped out the car, started walking.
I'm also glad he showed his face because I'm gonna just let this play. What are you saying?
Tory allegedly shot Meg in the foot. The LAPD ended up getting reports of it.
Cause he's going over shit that we already know.
The shooting
so I'll let it play while I say this real quick. But I'm also glad that he showed his face because I remember a couple people would comment and be like, "Why are you reacting to him like he not even black? He's clearly not black. He lying." He's trying to come up off a black culture and trying to lie and say, oh, that's why he's trying to call himself Blackie Speaks. He lying. He ain't really black. This man black.
For this particular crime. So this verdict, as crazy as it sounds, is actually a very good outcome for Tory Lanez. I'll be honest with you, and I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but even after this guilty verdict, there's still so much I'm personally doubting about this case. I still have so many questions. There's still so many holes that haven't been filled in my mind. Big pause about this entire story. One question that always went through my head as it relates to this entire thing is, how exactly did a story that was this convoluted even get a trial in the first place? And why did it take such a long time to clarify what really happened on that night of July when Meg was allegedly shot by Tory? I think everybody who's watching this entire thing go down, regardless of what side you're on, probably at some point felt some type of skepticism towards it. Personally, I think the heavy investment from the public greatly affected the outcome that we have in front of us. It's said that public opinion isn't supposed to have an effect or sway the law in any direction as it relates to how the law handles their business. But for this specific story, honestly, personally for me, I can't really say that's exactly how things went. This Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case was greatly affected by the public in several ways. One of those ways is, of course, the fact that we're talking about two mainstream and famous celebrities who got millions of fans who've been chiming in on the case as it's been progressing. That obviously created a wedge in the middle of this entire thing, and it split the public in half. Either Meg was lying and Tory Lanez didn't do it, or Tory was telling the truth and Meg was lying. First of all, I want to say this right. A guilty verdict is a guilty verdict. I don't think any of us can argue against that. No matter how I might feel about the depiction of the story, if we just bottom line with what happened, Tory Lanez got accused of shooting another woman, and he then got convicted of shooting said woman. I don't think there's much to argue as far as the verdict itself, as there is the credibility of everyone who's involved in the story. That includes Tory Lanez himself, Megan Thee Stallion, her bodyguard, and Kelsey Nicole. And I'll say this, I've never seen a story involving another man being accused of shooting another woman being so far from straightforward. In any other situation where a man gets accused of something like this, there's usually a pretty straight direction towards a conclusion. And so considering the severity of these allegations and the fact that there were multiple people involved, a storyline with this much chicanery makes me not trust what comes after the fact. And here's the thing, right? I'm not here to point the finger at Meg, not at all, because
I think they just all fucked up because nobody was telling the truth completely. It's like whatever their reasons were. Oh, I'm trying to protect him. I'm trying to protect this person. I want to make me look bad. I want to make this person look bad. But I feel like he shot her. Who else did it? That's what I'm saying. People who are doubting it was Tory, then who was it? Who do you think it was? It wasn't that many people there. Who's the ghost that you think shot her? I don't understand. Everybody was just like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if it was him. Well, then who? Who? It wasn't Kelsey. It wasn't the bodyguard. Who was it then?
I used to use my platform to demonize the woman, regardless of how I feel about some of the things she said, regardless of the fact that a lot of the stuff that she said didn't actually make sense. There are times where Meg made statements that didn't make sense. And there are times where she made statements that directly contradicted the actual facts of what really happened that night. At the end of the day, I can't really speak for her mental state after what happened. I don't know what it's like to wake up in Megan Thee Stallion's shoes and have something like this happen to you. And the thing is, it's so hard for me to say that Tory Lanez didn't do it because the law just said that he did it. I'm only expressing my skepticism because this was a convoluted and perplexing story that still, despite the verdict, leaves me feeling like I'll truly never know what happened on that very night of July. Now, what exactly does this mean for Tory Lanez? Well, first of all, he's going to be gone for a while, obviously. However, not entirely for the 10 he got, because in California, where this happened, since what Tory got convicted for are felony charges, committing a violent felony in the state of California means that they're going to have to serve at least 85% of the sentence, minus the time.
Yeah, may have to serve 85%.
He's already served. So let's just say that Tory will be gone for at least the next 7-8 years. You know, one thing I think as a man you should.
But you can also get off on like good behavior and shit. A lot of things can reduce your sentence. So that's just 85%. It's not set in stone. Trust me, I know niggas who went to jail and got long sentences, and they got out way sooner than they were supposed to. And they are nobody's Tory Lanez. They're not famous. They broke. So and he has all these good lawyers and shit. I'm pretty sure he will probably do like around 5-6 years. I would not be surprised if he does that little time. I wouldn't be surprised if he does like 4 years.
Anything that happens in any given situation, you make sure that you take accountability for that. You should always take a look at the man in the mirror and point any frustration you might have towards yourself, no matter what the situation is. I say that to say Tory Lanez, even before he allegedly did what he did, gravely messed up because he was involved in a situation that was bound to go left from the start. Tory Lanez was involved in a love triangle, right? It was Tory, it was Meg, and then it was Kelsey Nicole, and they were supposedly good friends. He then left a billionaire's pool party, Kylie Jenner, late at night,
we know what happened.
being intoxicated. Blows my mind. And I think if there's anyone to blame for the situation, it's Tory Lanez himself.
Absolutely.
Tory should have never even left that party with Megan to begin with. That was the first mistake. Really, though, the first mistake was when he decided to have a sexual relationship with a famous rapper, Meg, and then after that, sleep with her friend. It was confirmed by the prosecution that Tory Lanez and Meg were in an intimate sexual relationship.
Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
Like sexual?
Yeah. Did you?
There were times where Meg made statements that didn't make sense.
Did you, Megan? Did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
This is, of course, a completely separate point from the verdict in itself. I'm just trying to paint the picture of the faulty moves Tory made way before the ultimate one happened. And, the media has sensationalized this story. Not because they care about black women, believe it or not. It's because there's a lot of money in keeping the conflict between the black woman and the black man going. That's why. What you gotta realize about this Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case is the fact that this was never about wanting justice for Megan. And I'm talking about the media, or in other words, the machine when I say that. The agenda behind the extensive coverage of the story was to aggrandize, highlight, and validate the conflict between the black woman and the black man.
I don't know about that. I think this story got a lot of attention because they're both very famous people. And I think it's crazy to think, this one famous person shot this other famous person. What? Like, that's wild. So I think that's why I got a lot of coverage. Because, also Johnny Depp and Amber, their situation got a lot of attention as well because they both were pretty famous. So, but sure, that might have something to do with it as well, that they're black and people trying to keep the war against the black man and the black woman alive, I guess. Anyway, Tory is wrong, all right? People who are coming out and upset that he's getting this sentence, and are like, oh man, how dare you? Y'all are sick in the head. Who did it then? Who did it? I definitely agree that this situation was a bit confusing and suspicious because it's like everybody's lying. Like, Meg isn't telling the truth 100% of the time. She's definitely lying about some shit. So it does make her look bad. But I don't think she was lying about getting shot. I don't think she's lying about that part. She's lying about the fucking part because she don't want to look bad. She's lying about some details, probably to protect, herself, try to protect someone else. But the fact of the matter is she actually did get shot. And somebody had to do the shooting. Who was it? If it wasn't Tory, it was him. He basically admitted to it on the phone call. I don't understand why people are still confused now. But anyway, he got his sentence. It's done. All right, let's bury this. Like I said, I highly doubt he will do a lot of years at all. Like I said, I think he'll do like a few years. He might even do 3. Who fucking knows? Don't be surprised if this nigga is out 2026. So, there's that. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you're going to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!